Full-time reaction to Hearts 1, Celtic 4 here at Tynecastle. I've got Martin with me to go over it. Martin, I thought coming here, it's always a tough game. You're always expecting a tough game, but I thought that was one of our best performances of the season by a country mile.
And it's back to that age-old argument about was one team good or was the other team not so good. And I thought today, Celtic in particular, starting with how we performed, I thought our performance was exceptional. That team's really come together now, where you look at each individual player and what they bring to that team, and their strength across every area of the park, and then what they contribute as a unit. I'm really confident in the ability of this team. And then you look at Hearts, and I thought they were really toothless. I thought they gave us too much space on the ball. Having said that, the crispness of our passing, our desire, our work ethic versus Hearts, who were a bit lethargic at times. I thought the combination of both Hearts being poor and Celtic being exceptional meant that it was a really one-sided game, and obviously the early goal settles the nerves.
It does.
But the only surprise in that game today was that we didn't win it by a greater margin than 3.
I thought we were excellent. When you come here, you never want to let Hearts start well and get the crowd up, because we know that the atmosphere can get up at Tynecastle, but I thought we started the game brilliantly, controlled it, and after only a few minutes we scored an excellent goal. I can't remember if it's Palmer or Hatate that plays the ball over the top, but Matt O'Reilly meets it coming over his shoulder, volleys into the far corner, and I thought all afternoon he maybe tired a bit towards the end, but Matt O'Reilly's head and shoulders above anybody else in the park.
What a player he's turning out to be. I mean, just an absolute. I was lucky enough, my wee boy got his top after the Motherwell game. He's just, as a human being, he's a lovely person. My wee boy actually met him the game after that in the Champions League, and he remembered him and spoke to him about the top and said, "You still got my top?" And I was just a lovely guy. So I've been fortunate enough to experience that and to observe his personality and the type of person he is. But on the pitch, what a guy. He spoke a lot about Brendan Rodgers and the impact he's had on him. And I don't think there's ever an intention for him to put down what Postecoglou and the O'Reilly relationship looked like. And I don't buy into that stuff either. But I think what he is telling us, his relationship he's got with Rodgers is really strong. And you can see that in his performances. He's bringing goals. I mean, his finish against Motherwell was, I've watched that 100 times. And I think I've watched his goal today 200 times. It was just sublime. And I think what was happening today, and it was evident in the early stages of the game, was Hearts were trying to be resolute at the back. They were allowing us to push forward. We were winning the midfield battle. They were certainly losing the midfield battle. And because we were winning the midfield battle, we had a little bit of time on the ball just to spray the ball, whether it be left or right. Particularly, I thought down Maeda's side, down the right-hand side, the number of times we played that ball into space and they had yards of space to run into. But equally down the left-hand side as well. And of course the goal came down that left-hand side. What a finish. I mean, he just made that look easy. I mean, if Messi or Ronaldo scored that, it'd be headlines on Sky Sports. What a goal, what a finish. Nestled just nicely in the corner of the net.
It was incredible. I thought he was integral in the second goal as well, in the build-up into Hatate, and Hatate finds Maeda. Some of his passing, his footwork in the first half as well, I thought he was excellent. I thought Hatate was good as well. We go in 2-0 up after that Maeda goal, and we get, looks like the perfect start to the second half. I think it's 12 seconds in. Hatate wins the penalty and he misses it, and again that's just a period in the game where you think you don't want that to give Hearts something in the game because the crowd gets up. You don't want them to get any momentum, but shortly after that, Kyogo, again typical Kyogo performance, he's just waiting to pounce, and he does his few touches, but that ball comes to him in the centre of the 18-yard box and you're certain it's a goal.
I mean, one of the fascinating things about today was we got really deep into the opposition penalty box and we had a number of players. So if we didn't score with the first chance, the ball was breaking in our Celtic player, and that doesn't happen by accident. That's because we're so positive in our play, we're so offensive. I mean, that second goal, I know it went to VAR, but I think there must have been 3 or 4 Hearts players on the line because we scored it from centimetres outside of the goal line. And there was a number of players in the 6-yard box when we scored that. And similarly with Kyogo's goal, I mean, to the penalty, the point you make about the penalty, I'm not sure who our penalty taker should be going forward. We've tried Kyogo, we've tried Hatate, the captain's had a shot at doing it. I think O'Reilly maybe as well, but there's been a few candidates. But we do need to identify a penalty taker. It's extraordinary for a team who score very rarely from corners, from free kicks and from the penalty spot. We don't get many penalty spots. The number of goals that we score, and it's just because we are such a hard-working team and there are so many goal scorers in that team. As much as Kyogo gets a lot of goals, there are so many of the midfielders and the other offensive type players and defenders that score goals in that team. But the third goal for me killed the game. I mean, 2-0 there was never a way back, but at 3, for me the game was well and truly over.
The one blemish on the performance is obviously not getting a clean sheet, losing the goal. I thought we had a wee 2-minute spell where we were overplaying on the right hand side, and it could have went out to Greg Taylor once or twice, and we kept overplaying it on the right hand side. And then Maeda gets the ball back and he plays the slack pass. And to be fair to Shankland, a decent finish round scales, but just a wee bit sloppy, and we don't get a clean sheet.
Well, one of the things Hearts did wrong was they sat too deep, and they played Shankland more in a midfield position than number 9. And of course, he is a good number 9. He gets a lot of goals. So when Shankland pushed up, I wasn't surprised to see that we get 1 or 2 chances. There's always going to be a tiny bit of complacency as well, and they are always going to get a couple of chances. And I think in that one, I think I'm right in saying that before Shankland scored, they had an opportunity, they had a shot before that, and then it broke kindly for Shankland. And a good finish. But 3-1 I wasn't concerned. Even had it gone 3-2 I wasn't concerned. I knew we had another goal or 2 in us. And of course we made the subs just to freshen things up a little bit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the subs made a huge difference, but just by virtue of making the subs, it brought a bit of freshness and a different dimension to the team.
I thought James Forrest looked quite sharp when he came on.
He was going past players like he was 18.
I know. I don't know if that was because his brother was playing. He wanted to make sure he was on it. But
he went past Sibic, I remember that.
He did.
Dropped the shoulder, went past him and left him.
Yeah.
And there's another couple of occasions he'd done something similar. So it was good to see him do that, because too often the ball comes to him, he just plays a simple pass back.
Aye, absolutely. As you say, subs freshen it up. We get the likes of Kyogo, McGregor off the pitch with the big game on Wednesday. Obviously really tough for us in that group against the top team in the group on Wednesday, but we're at home. We've got to just go and put in as high a level of performance as we can and hope we get something.
Well, the team, what I would say is the team first and foremost have improved game on game on game, and we're playing at the best we've played all season, and we've got a good selection of personnel available to us, a good bench, and certainly a strong starting 11. I don't think we've got any injuries other than Abada. Obviously the Abada situation's not ideal either with regards to will he feature in the team any time in the near future. I hope he does. But this is a tough game. Atletico Madrid's a step up from Feyenoord and a step up from Lazio. What I would say is in those first 2 games we've competed, and I still can't believe, even now the dust is settled, that we didn't take anything from both those games. But I think we're all a bit sick of the sob story stuff, and hard luck story. We need to go out and play with the confidence we played in those first 2 games, retain the ball the way we have, but try and be a bit more clinical, and try and cut out the mistakes, red cards and Holland, and then a mistake by Carter Vickers, and very unlucky with the offside decision for our goal. But we just need to go out there and do what we've done in the first 2 games and just hope some of the breaks go our way. We desperately need a result, probably a victory if we're being honest, to the way that group's panning out. There could be a couple of friendlies if we get beat on Wednesday. But I'm really, really, really looking forward to the game. That's a team that's playing high in confidence, and there's so many options for goals in that team, and throughout the team, from the goalkeeper all the way up to Kyogo up top and on the bench, there's lots and lots of ability in that team. I'm really excited about the game.
Big step up on Wednesday. One final observation on today at the end, the majority of the Celtic end in a chorus for Brendan Rodgers, which is the first time I've heard that to round us off on today. Can you pick somebody for man of the match? Just on the Brendan Rodgers, if you don't mind. First, I was personally I was a fan when he came back. I wasn't one of those who was against the reappointment of Brendan Rodgers. I was disappointed when he left, the same as everybody else, but kind of understood to some extent. It was just the midnight flick that I think upset me a little bit, but can never forget what he did for this club when he was here, and the trophies that he won, and how he helped us dominate Scottish football. And I'm convinced he'll do that again, regardless of who comes in across the city at Rangers, managerial or personnel player-wise. Rodgers is here to dominate Scottish football again. We need to get behind him, so I was absolutely delighted to hear him singing his name. Yeah, I think today, and as the weeks go by, it's looking more like a Brendan Rodgers team.
Aye, absolutely. I mean, some of the criticism in the early part of the season was outrageous, with a lot of big players out, but just delighted for him today. And you can see he is gradually, the fans are starting. I mean, I'm sure there's still a section of the fans that are against him and will never ever support him, but today, for a small support of 500-600 fans, it was loud. He would have been probably nobody not singing his name there at the end, so I was really delighted for him, because he's shown it's brave of him to come back in the first place, and he's come back and said that he wished he hadn't left. So delighted for him. And for man of the match, that's a tough one. I thought there was a lot of candidates, but probably back to the man we're talking about earlier on today, I would say, I don't know if he got it or not, but I'd say Matt O'Reilly for me.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt O'Reilly for me. Like the video, comment your own thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you during the week for the build up to that Champions League game. Cheers.